How's it going? Motor City Miner here, coming at you with another update, and this is an exciting one. This is why I bought my E300 from Osprey. We have RXD Bitstream finally available for the E300 or E100 or whatever E you have. Maybe an A200. But yeah, so this dropped yesterday from Osprey. I have been patiently waiting for many months for this. It is beta, and it looks like, according to Whitefire, that we will only have 7 of 8 cores currently operating, but I'm glad to have something, since Caspa is no longer mineable on FPGAs. So, let's get into it and how this starts. So, obviously, I already have logged into my E300. There is this update firmware tab here. Since this is a beta firmware update, you will have to manually update. So, quickly go through that process. So what you got to do is you got to come to their Discord, E300, go to the pin messages, and jump to the latest pin message from Flying Panda. There will be a Dropbox link here. You're going to click on that. And once you're in the Dropbox, well, you're going to click on this Zinc firmware folder, and you're going to click on this firmware.tar file. Do not click on the other one. This other one, I believe, is for when they implement the auto update. So don't click on that one. Click on the firmware.tar. And then, obviously, download the file. I'm not going to sign in. Hopefully this starts downloading here in a moment. There it goes. That was weird. Took an extra button press, I guess. So, got that downloaded. Good to go. So what you're going to do is you're going to come back here, you're going to choose that file you just downloaded, you're going to press open. It's going to pop up here, you're going to press upgrade firmware, and this will usually take a couple minutes, so be patient. It's also really hard to know like if it's doing anything, so that's cool. So just give it a little while, hopefully it'll work, and we'll be right back once it is done. So while we're waiting for that, I figured it's a good time to go check out Radiant on Mining Pool Stats and see how our hash rate is doing now that we have E300 support. Now, there has been FPGAs on Radiant for some time, like the M2 multi-miner has had a bitstream available, same with the I think it's the K10 Superscaler, and you know, C1100s have had it as well, through different means and methods. So it definitely is not new to FPGAs. FPGAs have been on the network for pretty much since, I would predict, about this spike here, since the 30th of March, when we had a massive increase all of a sudden. It has died down, but it has stabilized at a much higher hash rate than it was prior. So this is probably all GPUs, and this is when private bitstreams became available. So we are looking at where we are currently though, and well, it's kind of flat still. So, which is really good, great time to get in if you have an FPGA, especially with all the rumblings of major listings coming for Radiant in the near future. So, not financial advice, but could be a very good bet for me. I have been mining it with GPUs this entire time. I do have a pretty nice bag already, so that's pretty exciting. But you know, it's always nice to increase that bag size as much as I can. So excited to get this miner on there. I'm hoping this firmware upgrade has worked. It looks like we're having some issues, so that's not necessarily the greatest. We seem to be having some problems. Uh-oh. Oh, I think it just hasn't restarted yet. I'll give it a few more minutes. We have no current version for our firmware upgrade, so we'll have to wait and see what is going on there. Alright, so as you can see, we do now have a new firmware version here with this RC02 here. So that's awesome, we're ready to go. Again, you would have had to have followed my prior steps and done this manually to have this happen. So we're going to hop on back over here. I honestly have no idea what to do settings wise, so we're going to have to jump over to the Discord in a minute, but I do want to make sure that it is in here. I do not see it, so that's a little interesting. Let's see, I'll go. Oh, I don't see it. What? Interesting. Well, I may have done something wrong. I don't know what I did wrong, but I must have done something wrong. I wonder if it needs a restart. Let's double check the firmware. Yeah, it looks like we're running the latest firmware, so that's definitely weird. We're going, maybe we need to do, so I have, alright, so I really don't know why we can't see the other options in the miner. Oh, there it goes. It just took some time. Sorry guys, I'm doing this for you guys live, zero editing. Okay, it's not live because I'm gonna record this, but here we go. We finally got it. Whitefire. There we go. Super pumped. Ready to go. I'm gonna use menu just because I don't like doing things the old school way if I don't have to, if it's extra work for no reason. Auto start, sure. We're gonna do Radiant. It does look like Whitefire actually allows you to do all of them, so that's cool. But we're gonna keep it here on Radiant. Alright, so hopping over to the pool, I have been using ViperNet for my RXD mining. I do have some GPUs still on there, as I previously said. One of my rigs is actually down right now though, so that's a whole different story. But yeah, we're gonna copy my information. So here's my wallet. I'm gonna go. Woo! We'll leave this worker ID. I do need to get the connection info, which on Viper's website I am trying to remember. It has been a while since I've done this. I think it's under settings. Nope, that is not where it is. Maybe it's down at the bottom. Ah, there it is. So nope, it's not down at the bottom either. Where are the connection details? I don't remember anymore. What the hell? Where are they? Oh man, killing myself here. Locks. Maybe I'm just blind. I don't know. Nope. Nope. No. Man. I swear I thought it was under here, but it is not. So how do we configure this? Alright, so I'm just an idiot. Obviously the rocket ship is to get going. Okay, not really. I mean, normally I feel like it should be a pickaxe, but I understand the rocket ship is flight sheet and Hive OS, whatever. Doesn't matter. Anyway, so I'm gonna use US ViperNet because that is where I go for all my Radiant mining. So usviper.net, and we're gonna use port 5067 for variable difficulty. So we're gonna do that. Viper.net, and then we're gonna do 5067, I think it was, right? 5067, awesome. I guess I could have just pressed this button, but you know, whatever. We did it the hard way. But in theory, you could just copy that whole thing. Again, I already got my wallet address, so definitely ready on that front. Again, we'll see it pop up on the pool here, hopefully shortly. Alright, so it does say that all the FPGAs will use the same clock when mining Kylocoin or Radiant. So what to start this with? I guess it says run with set core clock 450, BCC INT of 625, or core clock of 500, BCC INT 670. So, I'm going to start with the higher one just because I have been able to run my FPGAs pretty high on most algorithms that I have tried. Actually, all algorithms I've tried. seem to have a good silicon lottery here, so I think I'm going to do this 670 with 500, but obviously I am going to have to change the first page first, and I did this all in the wrong order. So we're going to hop back over to the main page. We're going to do 670. Woo! 670, there we go. We're going to apply those changes to all FPGAs, because for this, they all have to be the same. Which is fine. So that should apply here in a short moment. Hopefully. Alright, says it was successful. Alright, so with our voltages set, we're now going to hop back over to the miner, and we're going to have to do this all again, because unfortunately I did it wrong. Oh no, we don't have to do it again. That's awesome, it actually saved all this stuff, so that's cool. So we're going to do the 500, like the Discord says. Now, there has been plenty of debate since this came out yesterday about the best settings, so we're just going to start here, make sure this operates, connects to the pool, you know, we're not hanging or having any crazy crashes. So we're going to press start, and we're going to wait for this to pop up. It should give us a go ahead at some point. Now, it does say in here that it takes some time after pressing that button for it to actually start. I assume this is something they're working out. Again, this is a beta version firmware, so I'm sure it'll operate in the future more like how you expect. But the logs will also be quite empty for this entire time. So we're just gonna chill and wait and wait. And we'll be right back once it is up and mining. Alright, so we are starting to get information here. Not really too sure about what all this information is yet, but looks like it's trying to set all the different clocks. We're getting there. Still going. So we'll keep waiting. We'll get there. We'll get there. So still starting. Looks like it's starting to do things, so that's good. Found good shared, there we go. We are mining Radiant on our E300 finally. Super exciting. We're gonna keep a close look on bad shares. So right now we have a massive hardware error rate on our FPGA 2. So it is not too happy about some things at the moment, it would appear. The other ones are doing okay. But we'll let this sit a little longer and just kind of get a baseline, I'll say, of what we are doing. Alright, so even the program is now saying that we are having way too many errors. So we're going to stop our miner, and we're going to make some changes, because clearly this is not working. So looking through the Discord, there's a lot of crazy stuff in here. But I am not 100% sure on any of this. So Whitefire is saying if you jump it up to 880 millivolts, then you can maybe get 14 gigahash. I don't know if we're going to jump that high immediately, but there has been a lot of people saying if they increase the voltages that they get more stability. So I'm going to do that. We'll just put 700 for now. Again, I just want to get it stable at first, and then we can talk about, you know, what we can really get if we really push it. Because Radiant runs incredibly cool, like super cool, like no wattage is used. So I could maybe, I mean, at my electrical rate, I don't really care that much about efficiency. So who knows? Maybe this 880 is a thing, and we'll give it a shot. But we'll get there. We shall get there. So we are at the 700 now. We're gonna go back to our miner. It's all set up. We're just gonna press start. It's gonna take 3 minutes or so, like it did last time, which is okay. We'll get there. We'll get there. Alright, so it does look like it has finished loading the bitstreams. So we should get an update here in the miner here shortly. Alright, so we are now seeing submitted shares. So we are doing stuff, so that's cool. Hash rate is significantly higher, like way higher. Holy cow. So that's awesome. And all of a sudden it dropped down. So that's kind of weird. I wonder why it's going all over the place. I wonder if this is based on how many shares you submitted, or something else. It must not be like your this must be your actual based on the shares submitted, not you know, your theoretical. Is my guess. But so far, less bad shares, so that's good. We do have one so far. So we'll keep an eye on this, see how it goes. See if we can solve the problem here. It's really weird that one's doing so much better though. But you know, we'll get there. Alright, now that we're back and it's been a little while, you can see that our hardware errors are pretty minuscule at this point, which is awesome. And our hash rate is pretty high. We're at about, what is that, 8.5, 8.7, so that's pretty good. It seemed to be pretty stable, so I'm going to run it here for a little bit. I'll cut back into this video after maybe 10 minutes. We'll give it 10 more minutes to make sure it's stable before I go really pushing this. Honestly, a lot of people are saying they can't even get the 500 to work. I seem to be pretty lucky at the moment. It seems to be working with pretty low hardware errors. So I did have to raise the core voltage a little bit, but again, that's not really an issue for me. So I think I'm gonna go for it. Like, I am curious how much power I'm gonna use to get this 880 and 14 gigahash. That would be awesome. Again, I don't have too many miners on RXD. I've just been mining consistently with like 2-3 rigs, smaller rigs, old. They're running like 2070s, RTX 2070s, just because it's so low power that, you know, it doesn't really matter to me. But you know, I am having problems with one of these. It worked for like a brief millisecond, and I think there's a graphics card that's bad on it, so I'm gonna have to like just fix that up. But we are getting up in our hash rate here, so excited that, I mean, it would essentially, if I have all three of these running, I get like 11 or 12 gigahash. So if I can get my E300 running at 14, that would effectively double the amount of Radiant mining I'm doing, which is cool. So, and Radiant's just really cool. Like, even looking at our temps here, if I go over to the miner dashboard, you will see that our FPGA temps are pretty darn low, which is nice to see. So, like I said, we're gonna keep it here for a moment, and then come back and see how things are doing in a little while. Alright, so it's been quite a few minutes now, and our hardware errors have not increased. In fact, it's all just been this very first one that happened, like literally right when it loaded the bitstream. So I think with these new voltages, like we're pretty much set. It's 500 clock at I believe we're at the 700. I probably, based on the fact there's no hardware errors, probably didn't need to go this high for the 500 setting. But again, just trying to get an idea of what these are capable of. So again, Whitefire is saying that if you bump it up to 880, you could get 14. I'm gonna slowly get there, so I'm thinking we'll do 750 next and see where that gets us. So I'm gonna do a stop. Always good to do a stop. Yep, we're gonna stop. Alright. And we're going to change our voltages to a 750. It's going to be exciting. That's going to take about 20 seconds, so we'll press OK. And it'll update at some point. Now, I don't think I can do 880 because I think it would literally burn up my FPGA chips, because it just probably would. So we're at 750, we're over in the miner. Alright, so we're gonna start her up. Yes, here we go. We're gonna see what happens at 750. Alright, so we're back. Our loading Bitstreams is done, so we are gonna start seeing those clocks dialing in here shortly, and we will be mining at our new 750 millivolts and see what that outputs. Excited to see though. What can we do? What can we achieve without catching my cards on fire? That's the key. I want to make sure these don't get too hot. When I was doing Kyla Coin, I was trying to remember. I want to say these were hovering right around 70. And I'm fine running them up that high. You know, do your own research, decide for yourself. But that's just me. So, all our clocks are done setting. We should be starting to mine here. And we got our first accepted share. Come on, let's see what we're doing. Oh, if only it stayed that high. Look at that, 7 and a 9. Yeah, it's not going to stay that high, obviously, by any stretch of the imagination. Look at that go. We are at a nice solid 12 gigahash now. 12 gigahash. 12! Okay, I mean, it's going to take some time for these to dial in since these are averages, but still so excited. Oh man, they're just going to keep on dropping, aren't they? Darn! We'll have to check back in like 10 minutes and see where this stands, because obviously it's all over the place right now. Alright, so it's been probably about 10 minutes. I'm averaging somewhere between right around 9.3 gigahash per second across my 3 units. One chip has a couple more errors than the others, but it's still really low, just 2, so nothing of concern. So I think it's about time to up the ante some more. So we're gonna go over to our miner. We're gonna press stop. And once this is done stopping, we're going to go over to our voltages, and we're going to increase them even further, because we were not actually getting that hot. The hottest the one chip was getting was 60 degrees, so really nothing too crazy. So we're going to go with our 800, see what happens. See if we burn the place down. I don't think we will. I mean, Radiant's just such a low power, low temp algorithm. Again, that's why I've been using my old GPUs, like my 20 series for it, just because when you get down to really low power usage, it's a lot easier to, if you are mining at a loss, you know, eat the losses and whatnot. My like 8x2070 rigs are using like under 400 watts each. Obviously they're not getting the amount of hash rate that I'm getting on these, but you know, still pretty low. Alright, so that's updated. I think it's time to give it a go again. We're gonna press start. It's on its way, and we're gonna have to wait again. Alright, so our load Bitstreams is complete. We are at that 800 millivolts. So we're about to find out what this thing can do, or if that's not really going to change much more at this point. Again, I'm not sure if Whitefire meant to omit the clock speed, or if you really don't need the clock speed to increase to achieve faster, hash rate. So, just kind of finding this out. I don't really know what to expect here, other than we're gonna find out together, apparently, or kind of together. It's a pre-recorded thing, not fully at the same time, but I'm just so excited to get more Radiant. Why am I bullish on Radiant? I don't know. I just like it. I like the people. Why am I bullish on Radiant? I really don't know. I just think that it's undervalued. It's really what it comes down to. So, not really necessarily like anything other than just the tokenomics of it right now. I think it's just undervalued. So, I think there's opportunity there. As a project, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it as a project, yes, but nothing too special. It's just a better, in theory, better version of Bitcoin. But Bitcoin's irreplaceable in my mind. It doesn't really matter what you do. So, but supposedly solves some of the problems with the Bitcoin coding. But like I said, I just think it's a losing battle to fight Bitcoin. But with future development, maybe it could get interesting. Right, so far we're just kind of dialing in at our 800, so it doesn't really seem to be affecting our hash rate too much, so that's kind of interesting. Yeah, so no hardware errors yet. Oddly, it actually seems to be making our hash rate worse, but it is just starting. These are averages, so we'll give it a moment here to stabilize. But very possible that maybe it's not better. Could be 750 still in a nice spot. Unknown. I haven't started changing the core clock, so that may also be a factor. Again, I just really don't know. Just don't know. Check out our temps though while we're waiting. Temps are a little warmer, so we're at 62, 56, 55, so nothing too crazy there. Yeah, it just seems to be slightly lower. So maybe we don't do that. Yeah. I think we're gonna try increasing our core clock and see what that does, and maybe get better results. So increasing the core clock though will increase our temperatures. So I'm going to drop back down to 750 because my cards they're not graphics cards. My FPGA, the chips seem to really like 750. Definitely well over 9 consistently on the gigahash. So we're gonna do 750. We're gonna apply our change. That's gonna take a few moments here. Exciting stuff. And I think we're gonna attempt to increase our volt. We're gonna try to attempt our core clock increase. So I think we'll do 550 maybe, and just see what happens. I don't know. Actually, just double check that our these voltages are at 750 now. We're gonna hop back over to here, input 550. We're gonna press start, and we're gonna see what happens. Alright. So it is starting, and we will be back in 3 to 5 minutes when it is done loading those bit streams again. Alright, we are mining again, and we already have an error. Yay! That's not good. It's 25%, 14, 9. It's dropping fast. Again, it's hard to say what exactly things do. So it does look like one of them's real struggling, like real struggle bus. Just doesn't like it. Already had two errors. Not good. The other one seems to be doing great though. So we'll let it go a little longer. See if the one does drop down. Nope, we're having problems everywhere. Oh boy. Oh man. Hash rate all over the place. Wonder if we need more power. Is that the solution? Nah, I don't know. I don't know. Just make up shit. I think we need more power, guys. That's what we're gonna do. More power. Again, just trying to test the limits of my chips. Not trying to run this way long term. Unless I can keep the temps down. I mean, if the temps stay relatively low, like that's fine. Again, power is not really an issue for me. Temperatures are an issue. But now that summer's over, and it's been cool in Detroit, it's very quickly not becoming an issue either. Nice and cool. Nice and cool at the farm the last few days. So we're going to hop back over here, and we're going to press stop. Always press stop. Don't not stop. In my personal opinion. So I guess you can do whatever you want. Alright, so we're doing 750 here. We're going to keep the 750. Still staying cool. No, we were going to increase that. Sorry, I'm dumb. We're going to put this as 800. Apply the change. You know, screw it. I'm tired of waiting. We're just going to do the 880 that Whitefire said is the max. And we're going to find out if we can get to that 14 gigahash. Okay? That's what we're going to do. So we're going to do 880 at 7. And on the whatever front, on the minor front, we'll do 575 maybe? Yeah, let's do 575. We'll just see what happens. I don't know. Or maybe yeah, let's do it. Let's fucking do it. We're gonna press start. I don't know what's gonna happen. Nothing good, probably. And it has started loading, so we will find out. Alright. It's about to tell us if it's awesome or not. Is it awesome or not? We found one good share, so that's good. 25 gigahash! No, I'm just kidding. Obviously that's not sustainable. That'll come down in time. Alright. So far so good. Look at that, 4. It will probably keep coming down. Man, I really wish that it had like the theoretical hash rate, not just like what you actually are getting based on shares submitted. So you kind of like understand quicker, you know, what your changes have done. But yeah, we'll see. Temp is rising. We're at 62. and this software, which means we're probably at 70 something. Oh yeah, that little board, that poor little board. That little board is so sad with its small little heatsink. I hate that little heatsink, guys. I really hate it. Really hate the little heatsink. It's just such a pain. There's no reason that this card should be 10 degrees warmer than the one that's next to it, other than the fact that it has that tiny little thing. Alright, so it's going to be way too hot, is what we've already learned. At least way too hot for FPGA 0. So we're not gonna be able to do this for very long, but we're doing it for science. For science, guys. Still no hardware errors though, so that's awesome. So I think we can successfully say that if you increase your voltage, you can increase your clock speed, and you will get higher hash rate, as we are doing. But obviously that comes with a caveat. This guy is very, very warm. Not on fire, but very warm. And just keeps getting warmer. Alright, well, maybe we can see what we can drop it to. Alright, let's dial. Let's, think forward. Oh, it's very inconsistent. Very all over the place. So, 75, 66, 64. You know, we can change the voltage. So with the core clock for Radiant, we can, well, that has to be the same on all of them, but we can drop the voltage. So I think that's going to be our starting point, is dropping our voltage and seeing if we can remain stable, because this seems to be very stable. No bad hashes. And I kind of like that. So let's get started with dropping some voltages. We're going to stop. And we're going to, let's do, I don't know, what do you guys think, like 825? Let's do 825. 825 sounds like a good number. Alright. So while that's loading, I'm debating what... That should be cool enough, I would think. Again, I guess I have no idea. Yeah, let's, I don't know. You guys bored of me yet? I'm bored of me. We're gonna press start again. We're gonna see what happens. With 825 on the voltage and 575. And we're back. Look at that. Look at that. We are mining yet again. There's our first accepted share. Let's see what 62 gigahash. Man, I love the first accepted share every time. Just absolutely like insane. If only it was for real. So far so good. Doing well. No hardware errors yet. Our temps are very quickly going back up though. Again, so what did we do? We lowered our voltages while maintaining the 575 clock. Oddly, it says 570 here. I don't know if that's, like, it just won't go higher. I'm not sure. Or it can only do increments of 10, maybe. I don't know. Very possible. But we are getting even better hash rate, so that's cool. For now, it's probably going to keep dropping and make me sad, but maybe it won't. Maybe it'll stay high. But yeah, like I said, what's really going to limit me is going to be the temp on the chips. So what I'm really keeping an eye on is this FPGA 0 and what its temp is. Clearly the voltage doesn't affect your hash rate, so essentially whatever voltage I find that keeps this temperature low enough that I'm happy with it, you know, that's where I'm gonna leave it, I guess. And then just keep upping the core clock until I become unstable. So this definitely seems to be nice and stable, no hardware errors, nothing like that. Temperatures are definitely lower. Our FPGA 0 is hovering right around 60 in the software and 69 in the firmware, which is alright. Again, I just really hate that small friggin' heat sink on this guy. It just ruined so many of my plans. Because honestly, 59, like, whatever. Like, that's nothing. That's just normal in my mind. But oh, we did finally get a hardware error. Well, sad face. It's just one though, so not that concerning yet. What I'm gonna do is I think we're gonna up the core clock. That's what we're gonna do. That's what we're gonna do. Until bad things happen. So, we're gonna stop. And we're gonna go over here. We're gonna leave this at the 825 for now. I'm just curious what we can get with 825 and not completely burn up our units. So we're gonna do 600. And we're gonna start. Alright, we're back. Yes, we are off to the races with 300 gigahash. 373 gigahash on those first two shares. Look at that. Some 674 gigahash, like, just insanity. Obviously that's not sustainable. Obviously we're gonna have some, oh man, we're hitting hardware issues left and right. Oh boy, bad things are happening. We're no longer stable. No longer stable. Lots of instability, guys. Oh boy, 1.6. I just had, like, a quarter of the shares are bad. Oh boy. Gotta love it. Alright, well. This clearly is not going to last. So, I think that's a dud for our 825 while doing 600 it would appear to be a dud. Would be my understanding of the situation. Just tell me to decrease all the hash rates, decrease them all. So I think, so 570 worked, and yeah, apparently it can only do 10 increments, so that's why I was doing the 570 instead of like 575 like a program. But yeah, we're gonna clearly have to drop this down. Not worth it at all. I mean, these numbers are coming down as more shares get submitted, but yeah, I don't think they're gonna come down enough, unfortunately. Not this 15. So, kind of funny though. Kind of thought it was funny. Temp wise, what are we doing temp wise? 65, 62, 61. Yeah, kind of weird that it's actually cooler, but okay. Alright, so admittedly it's been a little while, and by a little while I mean pretty much a whole week since I first started working on this RXD Bitstream on my E300. Unfortunately, it was taking quite a long time, and I'm pretty sure I tried every clock combination and voltage combination imaginable just to try and find the optimal ones for my specific chips. And then talking in their Discord, it seems that, especially because this is a beta Bitstream, that it very much is silicone lottery right now. Everyone, seems to be having varying success implementing here. So it took me a while to find a combination that I was okay with and was having low hardware errors. I could have low hardware errors with like a lot lower clocks, but that severely drops your hash rate. So I was really trying to get above 9, as you can see. So after a week now, we are hovering pretty much right around 10 to 10.5 consistently, and keeping our hardware errors relatively low across all 3 chips. It does seem that one of them is much happier than the other 2, but the other 2, just 0.25, 0.34 error rate. That's nothing to be too concerned about. But yeah, it just took me a long time to really dial in, and I wanted to show you guys my final combination that I ended up going with. So to try and shorten this video, I just kind of cut out it was already getting to be like 2 hours long, I think. So I kind of cut out the rest of my testing, and then I did let this run for a few days just to make sure it's stable. So I can successfully say with my specific FPGA chips, it seems that a 560 clock, and this core, it doesn't show right in the software, so you have to jump back over here. But a voltage of 790 seems to be doing really well for my boards. Temperatures are pretty low, except on that small heatsink board, but that's still fine, below 70. But yeah, it's been running great. I've been gaining tons of RXD in my RXD bag. Again, I have been mining RXD for a long time at this point, pretty much since, I don't even know, off and on since probably September timeframe, October timeframe last year, so almost a year ago. I haven't been mining it consistently, but have been mining it relatively frequently with a few GPU rigs here and there. Lately, I've just been running it on my 20 series rigs, as I've previously mentioned, just because it's a really low wattage algorithm, and the 20 series really isn't too efficient on many things these days. So just paying out of pocket for electricity, trying to keep that cost down there. So that's what I have, a couple 20 series rigs running. Not my 2080 Ti's; those are not on RXD, but my 2070s are all on RXD, and now this E300. So again, pretty excited about the results. 10.25 seems to be my real average. Jumping over to the pool, you can kind of see my 24-hour earnings. I'm across all my rigs. This includes my GPUs, but about a little more than half of this is just from the E300. You will see all these drops on here. So these drops are when it switches to the dev fee. So it has a 15% developer fee, so that equates to about 9 minutes every hour, and you can see that pretty much every hour on the dot I lose hash rate as it switches to the dev fee for 9 minutes. So just something to keep an eye on, but overall, still averaging pretty high. If we check out my actual rigs down here, you can see that my 24-hour average is about 9.2, which is about right for a 15% dev fee on 10.25 to 10.5. So but yeah, just going well, gaining lots of RXD, which again, I am bullish on long term. I just think there's some potential there, not financial advice, for good returns in the future. It is heavily suppressed at the moment, we'll jump over to our mining pool stats to view that. So if I bring up RXD here, you'll see that the hash rate has gone down significantly. Last week, I believe it was above 100 a week ago when the E300 Bitstream came out, and surprisingly, it has actually gone down consistently in that time. So again, we're talking about the Bitstream came out right about here, this time frame where we're right around, you know, like on the known pools right around 100. Now we're down to 91, so it definitely has been coming down. I don't know if that's because GPU miners are leaving now that there's even more FPGAs with the E300 now having support, or if that's just because of the price. The price has come down considerably as well, so just something to keep in mind. But other than that, yep, really liking the RXD Bitstream here. Hope that when you know, they do get it out of beta, we see another boost in hash rate. Right now, the Bitstream's only using 7 cores, and theoretically 8 are possible for the RXD Bitstream on the VU35P FPGAs. So hopefully there'll be a little boost still. I guess that would be like a 12.5% boost, which would be nice to see, but you know, I am happy with what it's doing right now. I believe right now I'm using about 450 watts or so, 480 watts, so definitely way more efficient than my GPUs by a landslide. But yeah, other than that, that's about all I got. Apologies for the delay on this. I've had quite the busy week, and with all the, you know, finagling with settings and everything, it just took a lot longer than I thought to get it how I wanted. And yeah, just really been trying to have more time to make videos, but it just hasn't been happening. So although I did install this pretty much the day after the Bitstream was released and started mining RXD in it, I know it is now a week later before I am getting this video on it. So that's kind of funny. I don't know what this boo means. Oh, low difficulty share. Alright, well, I guess you guys get to see me get one invalid while I'm here. But again, it's pretty much, at this point with how many are here, not changing really much of anything. So, but yeah. Anyway, that's all I got for you on the E300 RXD Bitstream for now. When they release a non-beta version, of course, I will update my firmware and do a little update on any improvements. So keep an eye out for that. I have no idea what time frame they're working on for updating that, but hopefully it's not too far in the future. I know it took them a little longer to get this RXD Bitstream out than a lot of us were hoping, but hopefully, you know, Whitefire and Osprey can get us some updates, some stability, and hopefully a little more hash rate. So that's all I got for today. Hope you enjoyed this content. Like, subscribe, comment down below, and that is all. Until next time.